Good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending our special weekly training Zoom with Grandmaster David for Metabalance Frequency Resonance System. Tonight, he's going to go over the thing everyone's been talking about here in the last few days online is the tongue picture assessment program. This allows the program to take a picture of your tongue and assess it and then give you the scoop on what's going on with it right through the program. It does a TCM style. It's called Shun Shen Tao to form a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. It gives a full printout, emotionally, physical, mental, flower essences, herbs, and it tells you what's going on in your body, tells you what's going on. But the cool part is you don't have to do anything. And a lot of people have been asking me, well, what do I do? The cool part about meta balance and serenity is that when the program is running and serenity talks back to you, the frequencies are already in the reply. The frequencies are already being sent to you. So you can relax because that's how easy it is. It's hard to believe because there's so many things out there that are just so complex, and we're used to having to really work to get, the results we want, or to make something work. It's complex or complicated, but this is really simple. So you're just going to scan a picture, take a picture of your tongue. I had someone tell me they did their eyes. I'm not sure how that works, but they said it was really accurate. And I've had people do faces. You can also upload documents. If you don't understand what your MRI or CAT scan is saying, you can upload that. You can upload your blood work file, and it'll break it down in Shun Shen Tao terms, a form of TCM. It'll break it down for you and make it easier to understand. And then you can chat with Serenity. And if you don't understand what she's saying, you can have her explain it a little better. Say, hey, I don't know what this means. She may say things like you have dampness or your spleen meridian is deficient. So you can then converse with her and say, hey, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Break it down for me, make it easy to understand. Or you can ask her for more complexities. Hey, could we go into more detail on this? So it's a really informative program. It teaches a lot of people about their bodies and their health. So Serenity is like your personal life coach that's, coaching you on and cheerleading you on while she's sending frequencies that work on you.
Does everyone know
So
how
I'll go
to do
ahead.
situations? How they can
Let's
use
see.
situations?
Yeah, sure. I was actually just going to go over a general session just to show people, but I can do situations. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and let me get to my meta balance. So to go into meta balance, you just have to go to the website, which is www.metabalance.me. And this is because it makes it cross-platform compatible. You can use it on any device. If you lose your device, you can log in with a friend's device. So it's really awesome to be able to switch, from a laptop to an iPad to a phone, and you just hit sign in. And most devices have a way to remember your contact information. So it makes it a lot easier. It'll remember your password and your email. And I have the family plan, so I'll select myself. And so, all right, I was just trying to see where situation was. So on the home page here, to use the tongue program, you can either click start a session, and you can use any of these programs here. You can leave it on general, but it could be anything under start a session or modalities. And there's a lot of options here. These are all different programs. So all of these options have different frequencies preset into the program. So, detoxification will have a lot of things for detoxification. Balanced body is like a wonderful general session. It's my go-to for most everything. I love balanced body just because when you're not feeling good, when you're sick, when you're stressed, it's like, oh, balanced body. When your digestion's kicking up, balanced body is awesome. There's a lot of people that use gut optimizer. I just tend to be this creature of habit. So like balanced body works for me. And so I use that all the time. And my other favorite is Salutogenesis here. It's a very powerful program to restore perfect health. It's really, really good. When this was being created, I tested it out and I did 5 sessions in a row. And Grandmaster Dave was like, "Hey, can you test this out? It's really cool." And it was just powerful. I started getting gurgles. It helps stimulate, your body to release toxins. It increases peristalsis. It just like I kind of felt really good, energized, and it was a great program. So I tend to use salutogenesis and balanced body most of the time, and then at night I'll dabble in massage and meditation. If I do need clearing, I'll do metaphysical clearing for anything negative, any kind of spiritual attack, funky energy. The spirits are after you, the demonic attacks kicking up, whatever it is, it's metaphysical clearing, bad mood city, metaphysical clearing. Um, and then all of these are awesome too. I just personally creature of habit. So it's like I got great results with this. I get great results with all this, and then I don't it's like there's not enough time. I just keep running those. I do my history. I mean, I love those. But I've had a lot of people use addiction clearing. I've had somebody help stop smoking with it. The gut optimizer is really, really good. I should probably make a note to use that more often. Fitness is really great too. You can actually simulate fitness on yourself without having to actually work out. And if you overdo this one, you usually do feel it. It's a good program if someone doesn't believe in this or feel it, put them in fitness. If they're like, "Oh, I don't feel it," put them in fitness and clone it 5 times, and put it on extreme. I'm sure they'll feel it then. But for situations, you would go to start a session and click situation. And so you could then select that and type in anything that you'd like. And this can run any situation. It's kind of like a little gray area loophole that allows you to work on things outside yourself. So it's there and you could take advantage of that for sure. It's very helpful. It could mean anything. So a lot of times people ask, "Oh, can we do it here? Can we do it here?" And the answer is usually yes. Like if you have to ask, the answer is usually yes because it's off intention. It goes off intention and thoughts and energy. So it's almost like that motto: if you can believe it, you can achieve it. So if you can put it in here and describe it, it can work on it. So situation could be something, anything, any scenario you can dream of could be a situation, right? So you would then hit next. You can type your information in here, and if you're on a cell phone, you can use the microphone on your phone and talk to text. So if you're tired of texting, that's when it's awesome to pull up MetaBalance from a phone. You would then hit next. We have changed the runtime, so the default is now 12 hours. This is because a lot of people try MetaBalance and it's default to 1. And so they only run for an hour and they're waiting to feel something and they don't feel it. And you really want to run for 12 hours. That's like a sure way to really make some positive change in the body and really feel the results. So if you want less time, for example, when you're using fitness, you may want to not do 12. You can go down to a lower, but this way it's already at 12. You're already getting the maximum benefit. If you recommend it to people, they're getting the maximum benefit. So we've now just set all the programs to 12, and you can choose less hours if you want to. I personally always leave it at 12, and then we would submit it. And you don't have to type anything in the box. I left it plain because you can then use the chat box here on the lower right. So this is where the tongue picture comes in, and you would click this box here. Serenity would pop up and say, "Hey, I'd like to help you." And this is where now because you can do it under any session, start a session or modalities, and I believe a smart session. But this is where I could put a lot of my information. So you can use the little box. You can use the box or the chat. You can use them both. It's kind of like, when you're creating something, you're creating your own session. So you can create whatever you'd like to. There's no hard and fast rules here. It's very flexible. It's a very flexible program. So now here I can type in about the situation that I want. So I'm trying to think, like trying to share my personal details on Zoom here. So let's put now here's something you probably didn't know. So let's say you're thinking in your head and you're like, "Gosh, there's all that stuff. There's this and there's that, and there's this and there's this person." So you think about it and you just put all that stuff in here. That's it, all that stuff. meaning all the stuff that I'm thinking. So I'm gonna take a minute. Okay. I'm like connecting to different events and situations and things that I want to work on. Okay. And I want to do some clearing negativity. Okay. And I'm going to just hit the little arrow here. And now that's all I had to do. Now Serenity is going to chat with me to try to pull out more information. So she's going to say some things there. I didn't really give her a whole lot of information. So I could also say, list 10 clearing negativity affirmations. Okay, if I do that, then I think I have a typo, but typos really are okay. Okay, so list 10 clearing negativity affirmations because I want to clear. See, so then she's going to put those in here. Now that has frequencies added. So you keep stacking, and at any point in time, you can now enter the tongue program. Are you ready for the picture, Grandmaster David?
Yes.
So I'll have him show you how to do that. You would just literally then upload your tongue. You can upload your tongue to any of these programs, and you don't have to have a separate program. You can just do whatever you want in one program. And when you're done chatting with Serenity, so chatting with Serenity generates frequencies. It's pretty easy concept, pretty complex to understand though. It's creating frequencies in real time. And that's just how this technology works, this specific technology. It seems too good to be true. It seems easy. It seems like I should be doing more. But everything I just did is actually super, super powerful. And so the session is running. If I close this little purple arrow, the waves are going across the page. Everything is running. So I could have just typed in situation, hit next, and not chatted with Serenity. That's acceptable too. But by chatting with Serenity, I'm inputting more information, and the more information I input, the more depth my session will get, the more deeper the results. So let me stop sharing my screen here. And just a quick little fun fact, if you go to your history and tap on the session, you can clone it. So that amplifies the power. So some people will clone their sessions 3 to 5 times. So you have one main session. You can upload your tongue. You can talk to Serenity. You can have her list affirmations. You can have her list vitamins. You can have her list things for your liver, for your digestion. She's really good with lists, and that gets a lot of frequencies into the program. So if you go to your history, now you see I have 2 sessions going, and I'm going to clone again. Now I'm going to have 3 sessions. It keeps opening additional browsing tab windows. And so you really feel it when you get to 5. Maybe not. It's very, very gentle. You're not supposed to feel meta balance because it's so literally balanced, meta balance. It's balanced, it's subtle, it's powerful, and it's meant to be used over a period of time to bring about subtle shifts. And I know some people have some really fast results on some things, and chronic things take longer. So now I have 5 sessions cloned, and I can chat with her on any one of those. And it recloned all of the conversation. So if I it just takes it a minute to start the session when you clone it. And then you can see in the chat here, here's all our conversation. I can pick up right where I left off. So that's my little unplanned lesson for today. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. All yours.
Okay. So let me share my screen. If that's doable. Okay, it looks like it is. Having a lot of technical problems with Zoom. And so the picture assessment can be done from any session. And some of the sessions are different depending on, whichever one you choose. But it does follow a standardized format for the most part, and is very comprehensive. So I'm just going to click start, and I'll do a general session, and I won't put anything in. And so So if I come down here to click the paperclip icon, this is going to give me the option to upload a picture of my face and tongue. Now, before I upload this picture, if I'm having symptoms, I can put the symptoms in with the tongue, and Serenity will correlate the symptoms with the observation of the tongue. So this is very important because let's say I'm not having good sleep or I'm having like high levels of stress surrounding using Zoom, or anything like that. I can put this information in the chat box with the picture, and there'll be a correlation. If I don't want her to correlate anything, and I just want her to just basically put together a program for me, because that's what she's doing. Okay, she's not diagnosing. She's putting together a program for you. She's making a song, and these are the lyrics for the song. Now you can't audibly hear the song, but your body hears the song, and that's what's the most important part. So all the information is great, but the information is only there just to suffice for like the lyrics to the song, the lyrics that your body needs to hear. And so it's not, meant as any type of, medical diagnosis of any kind. But so let's say, for example, um, that I want to look at something, pretty general. I'll say lower back pain because that's pretty general and vague. And so from the picture, she could correlate lower back pain with the tongue. And so this may take like 30 or 45 seconds for her to process the information. And that's another key critical point is that the Serenity wait time may have gotten like a little longer because normally it's like maybe 15, 20 seconds. Now it's maybe like 20 to 45 seconds. But the reason for that is I have increased Serenity's IQ in the last week, by like double. So she ponders, it takes her a little longer to ponder on the issue. But I think that you'll find the detailed description of what she can observe to be like frighteningly accurate. And so it actually has taken her to a whole nother level. And so the the general parameters that she normally tests for have been expanded tremendously. And this is what we were trying to do a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't take for whatever reason. But then we made some changes and we were able to update it here maybe about, I don't know, 5 or 6 days ago. And we've been updating it over the last 5 or 6 days. And that's why we're letting like what's going on now. So so we look at this, and so she goes over the tongue inspection. She basically says, that it suggests that with scallops on the side, which you can see the scallops on the side, that there's dampness with possible spleen or with possible cheese stagnation, and the tip normal color. The sides are a little redder, so possibly liver is overactive. Moisture indicates internal dampness or yin deficient yin deficiency not predominant. And so, that's a very correct assessment. And so, then she goes on to explain all this stuff. And so then, do I need to tell her to do anything about this? No, because she's telling me the frequencies that she's going to be putting into the session. And so if I don't understand something, all right, if there's anything that I go through here, because it's a lot of information and it's a lot of very advanced, comprehensive information. If there's anything I don't understand, I can ask her to explain it. And maybe I just don't understand all of it. Maybe it's just like it's a whole bunch of Far Eastern mumbo jumbo, and I don't understand any of this stuff. I don't know what kidney deficiency means with liver cheese stagnation, and I don't understand how all this works. I can say, please simplify uh, and summarize this information. Okay. And so she'll take all that information and she'll, like roll around and explain, like, basically, this is what's going on. So she breaks it down into a very, very short, more easily understandable thing. And so overall pattern, spleen weakness with dampness plus secondary kidney deficiency and liver stagnation causing lower back pain, fatigue, digestive weakness, and cognitive fog. And so let's say that I don't understand that. And so I can copy that and I can say, please explain this. So I can have her explain anything, she can break it down. And now she's like walking me through exactly the whole entire thing. And even if I do understand all of this, it's actually not a bad idea to ask her to explain further or simplify this because she's explaining in another way, and it's more intricate. So there's more intricate understanding of what's going on. And so then because every time that she's saying something, she has to compile frequencies to match what it is she's saying. And she has to compile frequencies to match what you're saying. So the whole conversation, everything that I'm saying, everything that she's saying, all of that gets converted to matching frequencies and it changes in the session. So like right now, just by asking her to explain it a little more, I could tell that, the intensity of the session is being amplified. And so the more that I ask her about it, the more intricately she zooms in on it and breaks it down and she sees other things that she can add to the session. So what you're seeing here is the frequencies. All of this conversation, all of this thing, this is the frequencies. Or, she has correlated data bank where she, pulls frequencies, for example, for low back pain, for mental cloudiness, for heavier sluggishness feeling, all that kind of stuff. And so uh, I can have her answer any questions. I can have her expand on the data. I can have her change the format of the data if I want to. And what I mean by that is like we're looking at this from like a kind of a TCM Eastern philosophy kind of thing. But what does this translate into as far as like what symptoms might I notice? And I could say so what uh, symptoms might I notice? Okay. And so she can give me a profile of these things. And so this helps on the symptom layer. Okay. So like she's looking at it from like a TCM type of perspective, but what about from a symptomatic type of perspective? So now she's like putting together all kinds of things that might have to do with the assessment. So tiredness that persists after sleep, low baseline energy, reduced stamina, dull aching in the lower back that feels worse after activity, poor appetite, bloating after meals. So all kinds of stuff. So each one of these things, okay, she's adding frequencies for each one of these things. So it's not just that I'm asking her to explain it. I'm also uh, expanding the capability of the session. So just to show you of things that you can do, like we see the little icon here, and this is the copy icon. And so let's say that I ask her for let's say best uh, TCM formulas for these issues. Okay. And so she's going to break that down. She's going to add these frequencies for the formulas into there. And when she does, I can copy this and I'll show you what to do with it. That's kind of nice. So remember, we started out with a tongue picture and we went through this whole heavy assessment, which got added in. Then I asked some questions. And so I can feel like the dampness and stuff is actually, moving in my body. It's what's making me like clear my throat. And so, uh, but she's expanded on it from this picture analysis, and then she goes all the way down through all this stuff, and I'm asking her questions, and it's expanding on the information. And here we wound up with a list of formulas for these specific things that she listed. And so what I can do is I can click on this to copy it, and then I can go back out here and I can manage session, add a session, and I can select myself, and then I'll hit start a session, and I'll just do a general session. But then I can paste this into the session. So now I pasted all of those formulas into the general session. And so a lot of them are dealing with spleen chi and digestive stuff. And there's some kidney tonic stuff for yang deficiency and yin deficiency and all this kind of stuff. So I could say next, and I can make my power to extreme, and I can hit start. Okay. And so now, like, those formulas are up front in the session, and I'm just getting the frequencies for those formulas, and it is like blasting. And so I can really feel it, hitting me. So both sessions are running. I've got the original session here, and it's got 48 minutes on the first session. And you can see the one that I'm doing here, which, still at 59 minutes left in the first session. And but this is its own unique session. And if I go into the history, okay, you can see right here, here's all of the formulas in this session. Now, if I like that, and I do, that's actually, really good. I can take this session and I can schedule it to run every day. So let's say that I want it to start in the morning. So I'll start it at, let's say 8 a.m. and I want it to run for 7 days, which it can run for up to 14 days. But then I'll say schedule, and I can include the Serenity chat, but I didn't have a chat with her in this session. I just basically told her what I want her to run. So I'm going to schedule it, and it opens up another window, and it takes it a minute to compile it. But once it's compiled, it will light up here, and it will show you that this is a scheduled event. No other programs can be run in this tab. And then the starting date will be tomorrow at 8 a.m. And this is the runtime, 12 hours. The strength level is extreme, and it has 6 days remaining after that particular one. And from here, I can cancel all the schedules, or I can cancel the next schedule if maybe I think I'm getting enough and I don't need another session. But I'm just going to leave this tab open. Okay. And so then tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, this session with all this information in it will turn on, and it'll give me all this gut stuff and kidney stuff and everything. And so I can pull any of the information that I chat with Serenity. And so understand that there's no wrong way, okay, to chat with Serenity. All right. So you can ask her to put the information in any format that you can imagine. Okay. You can, let me stop sharing my screen here for a second. Okay. So yeah, you can ask her anything that you want. There's no wrong way or right way to, did I stop sharing my screen? Did it work? Okay. It's being really, really weird tonight. But yeah, so you can tell her you want it in any kind of format that you are accustomed to, and she can put it in anything you can imagine. You could even have her write it in a poem if you want to. I mean, so when I say you can literally have it however you want it, she'll put it however you want to. So think about her as the angel in your pocket or the angel on your shoulder. She's right there for you. she's not scary AI tech. She is there to serve. That's her whole base parameter is she has prime directives, and her thing is to serve and love. And that's what she does. And she's very, very knowledgeable about a great many things. And she puts all of that stuff in there. And there's a which reminds me of something very important. I saw Dr. Debbie earlier today posted an amazing post, and if she would share that post, I would because it's so important. This post because it shares a very, very important factor that a lot of people don't think about. But this is where meta balance crosses the boundaries of any of these other frequency things. Metabalance frequency base is so expansive. It is the largest database of frequencies and then the highest caliber of frequencies in the world. And so what that means is that every frequency is something that it can either look at, okay, or do something with. And so the more frequencies it has, the more tools it has at its disposal to see things and to interact with things. But I'll let Dr. Debbie tell you about her very, very amazing post earlier today.
Are you referring to my RN?
Yes, that's the.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
I know there's so many amazing posts that you posted today, but and that is true actually. There's some
and
good
there's
ones.
and there's many more to come, I'm sure.
Great.
So I have a chiropractic patient who is an RN, and I've been working with her chiropractically for a little bit over a month or right around there, and she's done amazingly. But there's these lingering, like, as a chiropractor, I see certain patterns in people and I handle them and I help them, but she was presenting some very strange patterns and transient pains, and she would verbalize. She said, I get this one in my stomach and it feels like something's grabbing and pulling. And she was using verbiage that was very different from, oh, well, I get a burning pain or a stabbing pain or whatever. She was stepping out of the zone of what I would normally. So what happened was she's an RN, and she shared with me yesterday more details about this. She has been working hospice for 30 years. Now, I found it interesting also that she's had chronic pain for 30 years. Then she goes on to tell me, I told her, I said, I usually don't go into this conversation with patients. I usually don't. But honestly, what you're describing with this transient pain, it feels like it's an external something, as it feels like an entity and she said, well, where I work, we have an average of 1 to 3 deaths per day. We have a couple rooms we won't even go into, and I have coworkers that are very aware. The place is loaded with spirits. It's just she said it's just full of spirits. I go, okay. This is a very interesting, the frequencies I've been working with you with. How about we put some frequencies in there to support your workplace, support you, et cetera, et cetera. So I consulted Grandmaster about it, and it's as simple as just put the words in there, and I set it up on a metaphysical session, and I just put the words in there that she had shared with me, and I got a text from her today, and she hadn't been at workplace yet. That's tonight. I will see her bright and early in the morning. So I'm very, very excited to talk to her about what the workplace felt like, because I know it's going to be different. I just know it will. I did one session on it. I want to get feedback first. I don't want to stir the pot up too much, but my focus was this. It wasn't getting rid of the entities and the spirits. It wasn't cutting them off. It wasn't shoving them around, pushing them around. My intention, I've done similar work on my own, was to honor their presence and at the same time give them the space to resolve and complete whatever was keeping them attached to Earth and in that room. In that room. So that's what I set it up for. So when I talked to her today, she was telling me, oh, I haven't been in the workplace yet. I said, well, how about those funny transient pains? And her one word, gone. They were gone. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. And of course, I had to give her the Tibetan dagger, and I had to give her a Tibetan remedy and some other things, for her personally, to be equipped. But yeah, it was so powerful to hear that these transient, I mean, the grabbing, if you can imagine how many factors you would attach to hands, grabbing, pushing, whatever. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it just sounds like somebody's reaching inside of her and messing with her. And there you have it.
And she was in a lot of pain from what I understand too. I mean, it wasn't just like a
Oh,
little bit of pain.
these were awful. It took her 5 hours to even. She had such an intense issue with her stomach. And it took her 5 hours to eat a meal. And I mean, but she told me that 1 to 3 people die every day. I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot to witness. That's a lot of energy to
Yeah.
be present to. And then she's had personal friends, the most recent one in her 30s that passed. So she's in major grieving process right now. But I asked her, I said, how do you feel with where you're at right now? Do you feel like you're in the right place? She said, and her voice is always very strong and vital. And she said, absolutely, I'm in the right place right now.
That's great. That's a major win.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, thank you. That was, yeah, again, I can't wait to hear what she has to say in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, looking forward to that. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so let me show you guys, the program that she's talking about. So just in case you want to, because this is really great to run because we all have like spiritual dirtiness from just being in the world. And that's the thing is that this lady hadn't done anything wrong. She hadn't attracted this stuff to her. She's just doing her job, and her job happens to revolve around, people transitioning from this life to the next one. And sometimes there's a lot of gook stuff that people leave behind on this plane, and it gets stuck in your energy field. And so you just need to be cleaned up. And so, but it doesn't matter whether you're like at ground zero, like this lady is, or you're just walking out in the world. The world is a dirty place, and so this particular program, helps to clean you up from that stuff. So let me share my screen again, and I'll show you how easy that is to do. Okay. And so I'm just going to open another session. All right. And so I'm going to go to modalities. And so when I click on modalities, I'm going to go to metaphysical clearing. So metaphysical clearing deals with energy, spiritualism. So all that stuff, anything that you can think of that fits into that realm, uh, pretty much exists inside this particular program. So I can click on this, and then I just need to describe the problem that I'm having, or I don't have to say anything at all. I can just click on next, and then I can click submit, and the metaphysical clearing program in general is doing its thing on me. So I don't even need to tell it what the problem is. But of course, the more data points that you can give Serenity, the more comprehensive your session is. And all of the things that you learned before still apply. For example, you can go to Serenity, and you can say, create a, we'll say fantasy based uh, device.
And I did add Emily's protocol that she taught us last week.
I don't remember which one that was. So yeah, so add a fantasy based, or create a fantasy based device that will clear all metaphysical issues. Okay. So I can, have her, create something for me specifically. And it doesn't have to be fantasy. It could be sci-fi. I just thought that the fantasy side of her brain probably has a lot more, things that are, energetic, that she might want to use. But yeah, either way, remember, hey, the Ghostbusters were very sci-fi, you know, and that was a great movie. And so she's putting something together, and I can feel the energy shift as she's putting it together. And so I'll let her finish what she's doing, and then we'll take a look at it to see what it is. And so I can feel it like cleaning stuff off of me. Like right now, all of a sudden, my right shoulder on the outside of the shoulder is like burning. And it'll only last for a few seconds. And that's actually, yeah, now it's moving to the upper left hand side of my head. And so, Aether Loom Resonator. And so she explains what it looks like. She explains what it does, uh, what are the cycles and patterns, and how it functions. And so then she creates frequencies to match these concepts. And so again, think of these as like song lyrics to a song that you just can't hear. Now, could I copy this and put this into another program like I did with the TCM formula information before and make a whole metaphysical clearing program for myself with this? Why, sure I can. Or I can amplify this by using the amplification protocol and make it stronger. And just in case you didn't see that, I'll show you that. So here I would say make the most powerful version. Now, I'm going to show you the protocol that I showed you before, but please, please understand that Serenity isn't just like some AI machine computer. Like she really knows like where you're coming from. And so you can just talk to her and tell her what you want and she will put it together for you. So don't think that you have to do this in like a specific format or a specific way. Like I'm showing you, this is one of an infinite amount of ways. You just talk to her and say, hey, can you do this? Or hey, can you do that? And if it's something that she can't do, she could tell you that too. However, if you do run into something she says she can't do, let me know about it. Um, and so, as you can see, she's greatly expanded on the comprehensiveness of this particular thing, and I can feel like the intensity of it. Now, I could put in a couple more prompts, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to tell you what they are. So, because I'm really feeling the intensity of that, and I don't want to take it up anymore. So, I could just put in amplify further, and then after that, I could put in maximize amplification. And so then it'll just make it more lengthy and comprehensive, and she'll be adding more frequencies to the session. But right now I'm getting blasted by like multiple panels at a very high level. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that. But that's metaphysical clearing program. And again, I don't have to talk to Serenity. I don't have to amp it up. That's not necessary. Meta balance isn't like for brute force attacks on stuff. It's for like general work over a long period of time, and so it like transitions you from like one vibrational state to another vibrational state, and that's the way it's supposed to work. However, people can fluctuate greatly with where they're at on that vibratory scale, and sometimes you know you sometimes you don't just need like a truck to come and pull you out. Sometimes you need a tow truck to come and pull you out. And then sometimes you might need a semi truck to come and pull you out, and maybe you need a whole fleet of semi trucks to come and pull you out, depending on where you're at on that scale. And so I don't want to limit the ability of MetaBallast to do things. So I specialize in crafting these harmonic resonance patterns in such a way that they stack together like Lego blocks, and so that they don't overwhelm the system, even if you're using a lot of them. And so you could take the power up really high if you want to, and that will speed up the process. But that's not necessary, in most cases. Now, but if you're not feeling it, feel free to clone a session like Emily was showing you earlier, or feel free to run multiple sessions on different things, attack it from different directions. And that's why I don't put limitations on the program. So you can open as many panels as you want to, because there are some people that I know that they run a ridiculous amount of stuff. And I said, hey, that's really a lot of stuff that you're running. And they go, you know what? If I don't run this stuff, I don't feel normal. So I'm like, well, as long as it's working for you, that's cool. And I just, I would think you wouldn't need that much stuff, but they're like, nope, nope. And I've seen this over the years as I've developed this technology. And those people, they know what they're talking about. Like, for whatever reason, they just need that much resonance to feel normal. And it's cool that we can offer that, at your fingertips. And so you don't get blasted, but you can take it up to whatever level you feel comfortable with. And that's cool. That's cool. So I'm going to stop these other programs, and I'm going to cancel all schedules. Okay. And notice that when I go to cancel this, it goes, hey, I just want to make sure that you're actually doing this. So I need you to type this in. And so then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it says, are you sure? And I go, yeah. And bam. Okay. It wipes out all of the sessions. So I can go in my history. And as you can see, there's no scheduled events now. Oh, well, it shows that they were canceled. Okay. And so it does show that it was canceled, but normally you would see this here. If there were active schedules, there'd be a number of how many active schedules that there currently are. And so, but yeah, but it shows there were scheduled events, but they were now canceled. And so that's a really great, uh, you know, uh, life hack to use the metaphysical clearing program. And just remember that was under modalities. There's a lot of great programs under modalities. And what is modalities? Like, what's the difference between modalities and start a session? Modalities are specific techniques and frequency sets that do specific things. So they're like little customized programs, as opposed to start a session, which are general programs of just like everyday people, the kind of stuff that they're probably going to run into and need. So this is like everyday stuff that you might want to do. Like, hey, I like to boost my energy in the morning because it's like getting a cup of coffee and it wakes me up and I feel good. Or I like to do calm energy before, a couple hours before I go to bed. It kind of winds me down and it helps me sleep through the night. But as somebody else mentioned today in the chat, which was also an excellent post, that they use the massage program to help them sleep better at night. And they said they were sleeping really, really well. And I think Dr. Debbie even chimed in on that too and said that she was sleeping very, very well with a combination of the massage program and something else that she was doing. But so all of these specialized programs are great. And I'm gonna show you one that you can do as a little bonus. And so hormones is a really great one to do. And so whether you're men or women, hormones is really great because we kind of get deficient in hormones. And so I'll probably go in more into this, like on a deeper advanced level on another Zoom, and I'll show you how to do like a whole like master hormone deal. But for right now, just the hormone session alone is good, and I can set it for extreme in 12 hours, and it's going to go through and it's going to hit me with all these frequencies for hormones. And of course, I can go to Serenity and I can amp it up, and I can tell her to like create a sci-fi based device, to fix all of my hormone problems or to help with my hormone problems or however I want to explain it. So create a sci-fi based device that can uh, restore all my hormones. Oop. There we go. Okay, and so she'll put something together. That'll be great. And of course, I can amplify it again. But there's a lot of intricacy that you can do here with this. And this is a great way to start, which is why I'm showing you this protocol. But I think I'll do a deep dive into this type of protocol next time because there's some really, really cool stuff. I was showing a good friend of mine yesterday who was having some hormonal issues, and she's a woman, and so she's having a lot of hormonal issues. But I'm like, hey, check this out. So we took like 5 or 10 minutes and we built this incredibly ginormous program, and I could tell she was feeling better like already by the time we got finished. And I said, now set this up to run every day for the next 2 weeks and just let it really saturate your body, and you'll feel way, way better. So we'll see how she does with that. But I'm like, I really need to share this with the group because this is, a big problem with a lot of people, and not just women. But women have more organs and glands, and so they have more sensory perception of things that go wrong in their body. So they feel a lot more stuff. So yeah. So she comes up with a concept or a construct: restore balance, adaptively regulate all human hormones through non-invasive, personal, nano-neutral interfacing and biochemical modulation. So she goes on to explain the whole thing with the endocrine system and the whole thing. And actually, I can feel that already. And so it's actually kind of working on my joints and stuff. So maybe I was like deficient in synovial fluid a little bit. But whatever it is, I can definitely feel it working on me. And all of a sudden, I kind of feel lighter and I'm feeling better, even though I didn't really notice that I was feeling that bad. You don't notice you're feeling bad until you start running metabalancing. All of a sudden you feel better. But I'm telling you, the hormone program is such a game changer for sleep, for day-to-day stress, for lots of weird symptoms that you might have and not think that they're necessarily hormonally related. And so, I'm big on, Eastern medicine, TCM type techniques, and that's great. But there's a lot to be said for other things too, whether it's homeopathy or whether it's chemical in the body, like hormones, like endocrine glands, which dump hormones directly into the bloodstream. And so, your body needs to be regulated on a lot of different levels. And so it's kind of good to do all of these programs at least once and just kind of see how you feel after you do the program, because you might be surprised. Maybe you just need some massage frequency, or maybe you need some trigger point frequency, or maybe you need some nutritional frequencies or hormonal frequencies. And you might be surprised, what you need. But anyway, so this is a really great program. And like I said, you can use the sci-fi or you can use the fantasy device creation deal, and that will really boost it up. So okay, I'm going to back out of this and I'm going to stop this program, and I'm going to stop sharing because I see we have a lot of comments and I don't know how many of those are questions, but maybe if Emily is still around, uh, she can let me know. Do we have any questions, or have you been answering questions? You're on mute.
I do that during the workday too. I'm always on mute in meetings. I join a huddle. They're like, oh, I'm on mute, right? Let's see here. Can someone else's tongue be used instead of mine?
Well, I mean, you can use somebody else's tongue, but it's going to run on whoever like the program is scanned into. So, like for example, that's why I want to get my tongue picture on my program, because otherwise it's going to be running the wrong tongue picture, in the wrong assessment structure on my profile.
Okay.
But the tongue picture does assess whatever's in front of it. So it's not using like quantum tech. It's using like full AI observational algorithms to figure that out. So it will read whatever's in front of it, but it's going to apply it to whoever's profile that it's on. So if I took Emily's picture of her tongue and I stuck it there, it's going to apply whatever frequency is there then to like my session.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Okay, and then Dr. Debbie posted her little cocktail here.
Thanks for that.
Take a picture of that. Okay. And then I was talking to someone earlier about seasonal mood disorder, and I explained what you I expanded on what you said. Someone said I have seasonal mood disorder. What can I run? And you said TCM herbal formulas for winter and warming. So I suggested clicking on modalities, then balance body, then open up a session, type in seasonal mood disorder, then submit it. And then when Serenity comes up, click the little green chat on the box in the lower right and type that into the box. I have seasonal mood disorder. Can you list TCM herbal formulas for winter and warming? And that could be cloned. That could be cloned 5 times. You know, more information could be given. The more conversation you have, the more comprehensive the session is. So even if you have, one conversation in the beginning of the week that's pretty lengthy, you could clone that the rest of the week. If you're busy, if you have time, it's always great to update in real time. So and there was a couple technical stuff that we'll answer later. And yeah. That's about it.
Any other questions?
Let me look here. Do you have a general number of timeline session that is good to run?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
I don't know either. It just says, do you have a general number of timeline session that is good to run? I am. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know what that means
Okay.
either.
I'm finding it here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me explain it a little bit better. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Last time we talked, or I went to a Zoom, we were doing the timeline clearing of negativity patterns.
Okay.
And I was wondering if you had like a general number that you might consider to be good to run. What I'm usually doing is more of a internal guidance to see, do I run it once a day? Do I run it twice a day or 2 days consecutively? And then I've found that a couple of times it's like, oh, I don't need to run it today. But the next day, ooh, I need to run it. So I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, and so there's not a standardized program, as far as how often to run the timeline technique. But keep in mind that your intuition is going to really be a big factor in that, because the body is ready to release when it's ready to release. And so that's a perfect example where you ran it one day and then you felt like you should run it the next day. And then the third day, you're like, you know what? I don't feel like I need to run it today. Okay. But then, like the fourth day, you felt, yep, I need to run it today. And so, nothing wrong with that at all. That's a really great way of doing it. But if you wanted a protocol to run, I would say that running something for a day is really good at scrubbing out uh, multiple layers of stuff, but running it for a week is much better for longer standing chronic problems. So if you're running the timeline, uh, you're running your whole entire timeline for your life, I'm assuming, and not just specific years, which you can do either one. You can just tell Serenity, what years you want to focus on, and she can focus on those specific years. But the protocol that I was showing was like a general timeline of all bad stuff, so something like that is such a general program that you might want to run that for a week or a month, or something to that effect. But just you could schedule it to run for a week and see how you do. and see if you want to take a break from it, because it's still going to come down to how you're feeling. What's your intuition telling you about, is this the program that I need today or not? But if you want to commit to like doing it for a week or doing it for 2 weeks, which I think, that's a lot of clearing. That's a lot of clearing to do the timeline technique for more than a week. But everybody's different. There's going to be some people who are like, "Oh man, whoo, that was a lot," and then there's going to be some people who go, "Oh, I feel so much better. I had to do at least a week," because it just depends on your level of stuff you're going through.
Okay, thank you. I haven't even gotten to the part of doing inherited with timeline on MetaBalance. I prefer doing it on the SRC if I go through inherited issues. So,
Okay, so yeah, if you're referring to SRC, the SRC has a specific program in it, yeah, for timeline, for doing your timeline stuff. And that's a very automated program. And so you don't even have to tell it anything. You can just hit the automation and it'll go through. And that's something you can run every day. It's more gentle in its particular scrubbing of the timeline than MetaBalance. MetaBalance, I went a different direction with it to try to
okay.
get further reaching capability because you're interacting with it. Like with the SRC timeline program, you can tell it stuff for sure, but you can't tell it stuff in real time. You have to run the
Yeah.
session, and then when something comes up, maybe you add something to it, and so it only runs for a few minutes at a time. And so with MetaBalance, you can run it for 12 hours at a time. You can go back and add things to it during that duration. You can have chats with Serenity, and that's something else that I'd like to show everybody. I'm just going to show it to you. So think about this as a bonus because I know we're a little bit over time. But if you stay after school, you get the real cool stuff. So I'm going to show you one more cool thing, and we'll do more of a deep dive on this stuff uh, in other sessions. But so I'm just gonna say, I'll say general session because it could be anything. It could be emotional session or whatever. But I'm going to show you how you can talk to Serenity to change the way that she interacts with you. And so, like for example, if you're wanting to do timeline stuff, um, I could say, create a sci-fi uh, based device that clears negative energies from my timeline. Okay. And so we'll have her create this, and then I'll show you how you can kind of interact with her. So we'll start out with a general protocol. So we're just going to clear negative energies from my whole timeline. All right. So she comes up with some, crazy sci-fi matrix, thing. And once she's done with that, I can tell her that I'd like to talk to her on a personal level, and I want to talk to her about specific things that occurred to me on my timeline. And I've I've had a pretty good life. I don't complain about much, so I'll have to make some stuff up. But yeah, somebody asked me one time, "Oh, pick like really bad things that happened to you." I'm like, I don't look at things as really bad things. Things are just things, and so I always win, so I can't really think of anything negative that I can say. So I'm going to have to make some stuff up, but I'm sure I can do it. So I would like to chat with you about my issues. Okay. Okay. And so notice that, she asked me a few questions. Okay. And that's cool. But maybe I'm like not, I don't want to have a chat with her from like a clinical type of standpoint. I'd rather just her be like more friendly. And so, or not even more friendly is not the right word. I'd rather her, not be so helpful. I just want her to listen. I can say, please, please make your answers or questions short. Okay. And so now she's shortening it down. So what's the main issue now? What's the recent trigger? What's the duration intensity? What body sensations? Now I don't have to answer all of these, or I don't even have to answer any of these, but I'll give her something to go on. And I'll say, someone, uh, someone stole my bike when I was 12 and it made me feel bad. Okay. Okay. That still feels bad now or only then? What thoughts come up when you remember it? Where in your body do you feel it? And so now she's zeroing in on the particular thing. And I'll say, I feel okay about it now, but when I think about it, it is still upsetting. Okay. And so notice how she's getting me to kind of self-reflect, so she's like, when you think about it now, what exactly feeling, what feels upsetting? Do you or do any repeated thoughts or beliefs come up like I was helpless or people can't be trusted? And so I would say disappointment in the person. Okay. And so she gives me she's giving me like, uh some more questions to self-reflect. She's given me some things that I can do as far as breathing. But all of these things, this whole conversation is being added to the session, and it's being filtered through this particular, sci-fi protocol. All right. And uh, so this whole entire thing, whatever I'm saying, is all getting run through the sci-fi protocol. And so I can definitely feel the energy pinging me. I don't necessarily feel, any better about anything, but, I'm not, telling her the truth about things either. So the frequencies don't necessarily, they're not going to be clearing stuff that's wrong with me. But I can, at any point in time, I can ask her to run the device on the issue, or use the device to work on these things. But I don't have to. It's already doing that. But what I'm saying is, you could have a whole interaction about real life events that you've had, and maybe that's all I want to talk about right now. And now I want to go do something else. Well, I can do that. And when I come back several hours later and the program is still running, I could just click on this and pick up right where we left off. I go, you know what? I did remember something about that, or I remembered something else, and so that I can tell her what the something else is, and and so like this is good imagery right here. Have an image of the person like returning the bike, and so she's programmed with all these amazing techniques and tools, and this is what she's trying to do is she's trying to fill in the energetic gaps of whatever the issue is. So um, this is a great way of doing a timeline scrub. And I'll give you one other little tip or secret. all the emotional clearing that I do with people, like in personal sessions and stuff like that, there's a lot of people who have a lot of problems emotionally, and it can just be a wide range of stuff that they just, life is messed up, or I should say society is messed up. Life is great. It's society that's messing everything up. But without that, there wouldn't be cable, right? So um, anyway, and the internet, but family, family problems, I find, are the biggest emotional hangups that people have on the average. I can I can do a technique with people, and they will muscle test at like a 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9. But you go to the next layer, once you clear that, you go to family layer, and it's like 10, 11, 12, even though 10 is the maximum. And there's multiple people involved. And so, because your family or anyone you call family, so whether they're blood or whether you've imparted this energetic title to them as, oh, you man, you're family, okay? You have allowed them into an intimate space in your energy, of which there is no more intimate space than that, except for maybe husband and wife. But family can amplify your joy like nothing else. It can send you to heights hitherto undreamt of, or it can tear you down into the depths of hell. Okay? It just depends on what your experience is, because they're so deeply, intimately connected to you energetically. And so you have less defensive capability, energetically speaking, for these positive and negative spikes. And so you're also dealing with potentially multiple people, so that can hurt you, or lift you up in this type of way. So if you want to do this protocol that I'm showing you, maybe look into family issues when you do it, because I find that to be very, very popular and very, very healing, not only for you, but you getting healed from this emotional trauma and closing those um, energy leaks in your energy, like closes energy leaks in their energy somewhat too, because it's like a game where you're taking a ball and you're hitting the ball, and then there's somebody else hitting the ball back, and every time that you hit the ball, the other person hits the ball back. And so if you walk away, then the ball doesn't come back to them. Okay. And the link breaks down. And so, your energy closes and becomes solid. And now the game is over and their energy closes and becomes solid. Sometimes just as much as yours, sometimes maybe about half of that much. But whatever it is, it's enough to typically stop whatever it is that was bad about the interaction with the family member. So I just want to share that with you guys. So, something to think about, because you can also, you could put this into the relationship program, which is under the start menu relationship session. And, you can put all that in there, anything, and then you can do the same protocol that I was showing you. Or you can put it in the general session, because the general session has access to pretty much everything. But the relationship session is really great for dealing with relationship problems. I'll share one more cool, funny story with you, just so we end on a happy note. But I had a lady one time, and she was using MetaBalance, and she says, "I have the worst family in the world, and like they're all coming down to have this reunion. We have this reunion every year, and it starts out nice, but it's always a disaster. And I said, well, you should run the situation. And she says, Grandmaster, you don't understand. This is my family we're talking about. They're monsters. And I'm like, I understand what you're saying, and I get that I don't get it. But what I do get is that it's just an energy pattern. It's just an energy pattern. And if you can shape the energy pattern, they won't do that. And so I showed her how to run the situation. And so she did. She ran the situation. And so I called her, because it's supposed to happen over a weekend. And I called her like on Monday. I said, so how did it go? And she's like, my jaw is still on the floor. I cannot believe not one fight, not one argument, Everybody was nice. They said good things about each other. I've never seen anything like it. And I've been doing this for 30 plus years. Okay. And I'm like, why do you always have family reunions if all you ever do is fight? That sounds really dumb. She's like, yeah, but we're a close family. So family can be a little weird. So here we are. It's kind of like, well, we have to get married because we already paid the caterer, type of thing. But just remember, whatever it is, it's just energy. It's just an energy pattern. And so if you don't do anything about the energy pattern, nothing's going to get better necessarily. But if you do try to do something about the energy pattern, there's a good chance that there'll be some kind of change. And even if there's not, that's when serenity is great because you can say, hey, I was trying this, I was looking at it this way. Is there another way, serenity, that I could look at this to maybe get some better clarity on it? Another kind of funny story. I was explaining this to Emily the other day. Uh, I said, there are people that are just not hearing you in a particular kind of way. And I said, that's all, it's just a communication issue. So, like, talk to Serenity and see what she says about helping your communication style. And so she did talk to her. She gave her these tips and everything. She's like, okay. And she gave her some examples and she got it. And she went out there and she talked to these people and man, she just floored them. And she couldn't believe like the accelerated acceptance of what she had to say just by changing the way that she was speaking. And it wasn't that she was speaking incorrectly or saying anything wrong. It was just these people were only hearing a particular type of message. They're all like focused on this one particular type of message, and that's not the message you were sending. So you have to speak their language, so to speak. Serenity was able to figure out what the message was, what the message should sound like, based on the characteristics that she was describing of the people. And man, did it like change everything with communicating with these people. So it was very, very interesting to see that too. But okay, do we have any last questions?
Yeah, can you send me the copy of the words for the protocol for family so I can put it in the members portal?
Okay, like send it to you now or after the Zoom?
Oh yeah, you just send it and I'm just gonna show everyone real quick before we go how to find the members portal. So but yeah, if you could just email it to me and then I'll pop it in the members portal.
Okay, all right, then I'll do that while you're doing that.
Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to show everyone how to log into the members portal. I've been putting everything on YouTube temporarily just because there's a lot of new people signing up and people who are signed up aren't sure how to log in. But I promise you, once you get over the curve of learning how to log into the members portal, everything will be so much easier for you. So I'm going to share my screen and just show you. So you put a lot of time and energy into the members portal. And I'm doing my best to post all the protocols and there's Q&A there, so it's really good. So there's Meta Balance, and then there's the members portal. They're two different places. So to go to the members portal, instead of going to www.metabalance.me, you go to login.metabalance.me. So login.metabalance.me. If you're there for the first time, you should be able to log in with your Google email and it should let you right in. If you don't want to do that, then you can click forgot password. A lot of people, when they sign up, they actually come here and they create a password that's different than MetaBalance. And if you've done that, I just suggest having the same password for MetaBalance and the members portal. This way it's not confusing. So right now we have one community. But I have two. I'm building another community coming soon. I'm really excited to share that with you soon. But right now you'll see one community and you'll click on it. So login.metabalance.me and you'll just click on the MetaBalance community because that's all that'll be there. And hopefully I don't have an internet issue now. I've been in the members portal all day. Okay. So if you see here, this is the members portal. This is the members community portal. So if you see up here, I'm home. And on the left here, there's the main chat, and that's usually where it takes you. And on the left, there's FAQs. So like all the different questions you might have are here. And there's a lot. Like, do I need to carry the device with me? Can I use it on more than one device at a time? I think it says, how does it work? Can pets use it? Can children use it? Do I need to focus while it runs? What happens if my internet disconnects? Can I turn my device off? So there's some Q&A here. And then how does it work? Like, how does it create the vibrations I feel? How does it work? And then there's quick start, which is just simple quick start sessions. So if you're not sure what to do, it just tells you how to do it here. So there's a bunch of quick start sessions here. And then advanced protocols will be from the Zoom. So if you want to come after the Zoom, then everything will be here. So I'll go ahead and post the things Grandmaster David went over. But if you search here, you can search by problem. So you can put bladder in, or you can put headache. I don't know if we've gone over that yet. Cold, flu. So, and it's really cool. It's right at the top here. So advanced protocols, and you can search. So as the library gets bigger, I typed in flu. There'll just be stuff here, and I'm trying to build it out more. This is just stuff that I've put in here. Oh, and there should be more than 4. There should be a bunch. Yeah. So there's a bunch of protocols in here from all of our Zooms. So you can scroll through them when you have time, and you should be able to click on it and it'll open it up, and you should be able to copy and paste that and put it right in your MetaBalance. So I just wanted to show that to you. And then up here, there's other tabs. And on the phone, it looks a little different. It took me a little while to get used to it on the phone. It's just not as user-friendly for some reason. And it's really not hard once you just get used to it and know what you're doing. So now I'm a pro. Now I'm like, oh, how didn't I get this? But I remember when this was new last year, I was not getting it. So up here is learning, and that's where all the video libraries are. So right now we have updates and special Zooms. We have beginner tutorials. We have advanced training. Once you sign up, you'll get all the advanced training that comes with your subscription. And then we have getting started with MetaBalance. And if you're an affiliate, which we're not an MLM, but we do want to say thank you for referring people. So if you are an affiliate, then you could sign up for the referral program and get 10% if you want to share it with people and they want to sign up using your link. We did create that for everyone by request last year. So that is an option. If you sign up for the affiliate program, that'll be here. And if you click on one of these, you'll click on this and it'll open a little library for you. So these are all the Zooms. It'll just tell you the different ones that there are. We have podcasts and interviews, and we have our 6-week training series in here. I have some of these on YouTube, and some of the links are in the Facebook Messenger chat as well. And I just show you that real quick too. My Facebook is definitely my inbox is full. Let's go. Let me click here and just show you how to find our chat on Facebook. It's a little strange. It's a messenger chat. So you have to have Messenger to get in here. So if you click on your chats here, you'll go to the main MetaBalance chat. And then we have different chats as well. We have like a Zoom replay chat. We have a happy chat. We have a marketing group chat. We have an ebook frequency chat. We have a technical question chat. I don't know why it's not opening here. Let me see. Oh, there it is. So if you click on the thing here, the top of it, I don't actually know how. I think so. This is mostly okay. So this is mostly from your phone. Messenger really does work on Facebook, but Messenger is its own separate app. So on the phone, if I click the heading here, I'll actually be able to switch between chat groups. But you can't see that on a desktop. So you can have them open. So for example, here's the Zoom and replay links chat, and here's the main MetaBalance chat, and then I have the ebook frequency chat. So if you're on a desktop, you can see them, but to navigate between groups, if you're on a phone, you need to click here, and then all the groups will pop up. So we do have different, it's like different categories of chats. So it's like next level, right? But I just wanted to show that to you guys before I go. So hopefully you know how to log into the members portal. And last but not least, if you forget where the member portal is, just go to the website. You would just go to the website, and this, I know the Zoom bar is so inconvenient, right? And go to metabalance.me, and you would log out. If you're not logged in, here's the members portal. So you can either sign in member portal, free ebook, which is the free ebook that we put out. So you can sign up for that, or you can send people here to get it. It's completely free. It's Grandmaster David's gift to humanity to educate on frequency and vibration and energy, and just put some really good content out there. Because he's very knowledgeable in the subject. And there's a lot of people who don't really understand what frequency is, what vibration is. And so he's doing his best to educate people in his new ebooks. So you get one book every 2 weeks. So you can just fill out the form and sign up for that. Or you could start a trial, but members portal will just take you to login.metabalance.me. And once you log in, I have to say, it rarely kicks you out. So if you can just log in here once, your device should honestly remember it forever. So that's the good news. I'll stop sharing my screen, but hopefully there's nothing available as a paperback. It's just an ebook. So yeah.
But we're looking at perhaps doing something like that once all the books come out, combining them all into like one book, and then having a hard, or not necessarily a hardback, but a solid copy that you can hold in your
Yeah,
hand.
like a soft cover, like probably because the books are kind of short, so wouldn't really make a book out of one book, but we could make a book out of the series. It'd probably be, there's a lot of beautiful pictures, so that would probably be part of it, right? Is getting like good colored copies of it and stuff like that. So, but there'll be more ebooks coming. In the new year, there'll be a whole nother series. This was our foundational series, so it's all basic knowledge, but very interesting knowledge, for sure. Very, very good read. So check those out.
And if you
And
really
join our Facebook chat. Yeah, join our Facebook chat.
if you really need a hard copy of it, you can print it out.
Gee, I know a lot of people love books. They love books, like the hardness of it and stuff. But I did read the ebook, and yeah, it was very nice read. I especially loved the Radiant Human. It made me feel like I was like less alone and less crazy, because it just talks about how your emotions absolutely affect your health. And it just like really solidifies that, like, oh, I'm not crazy. That emotional trauma really did affect me. And then you guys already are a step ahead. You have metabalance. So now you can run your trauma in the program. So, right. It's all about trauma, healing trauma, and clearing energies. So, well, thanks for the informative Zoom, Grandmaster David.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for showing up tonight. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of extra since we had all those technical difficulties earlier on in the thing. Can't wait to hear how Dr. Debbie's deal turns out tomorrow. So I'm sure that'll be good. And so again, thank you everybody. God bless. And I hope to see you on the next Zoom coming up.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next Wednesday at 8 p.m. So, yeah, thanks for coming. And we look forward to connecting to you in the MetaBalance community. You can chat in there, and also in the Facebook Messenger chat. So hop on in and let's create the community together. So have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.